Sound of subtle, distant bureaucratic murmurs, maybe a faint, unsettling hum, slowly fading to silence. Count Dooku stood on the observation platform, his gaze fixed on the bustling, gilded halls of the Coruscant Senate. Down below, holographic figures flickered, depicting debates, votes, and the endless, often fruitless machinations of galactic politics. He watched, not with the detached curiosity of a tourist, but with the heavy, pained expression of a master craftsman witnessing his magnificent creation crumble from within. The Grand Republic, once a beacon of order and justice, now seemed to him a vast, decaying monument to inefficiency and self-interest. His disillusionment wasn't a sudden, cataclysmic event, but a slow, creeping chill settling into his very bones. To understand Dooku's descent, we must look beyond the lightsaber duels and the political machinations and delve into the quiet convictions that shaped him, convictions forged long before he ever picked up a crimson blade. Born to wealth and power on Sereno, Dooku was not just a Jedi Master. He was also a count, a nobleman from a lineage stretching back generations. This wasn't merely a title of prestige. It was, in his world, a sacred charge. He was raised with a deep-seated belief in noblesse oblige, the unspoken duty that comes with privilege. For Dooku, this meant that the ruling class, the aristocracy, held a fundamental moral obligation to provide order, ensure justice, and safeguard the well-being of the common people. They were the shepherds, meant to guide and protect the flock, not to exploit it. Imagine the young Dooku absorbing lessons not just from Jedi texts, but from the ancient traditions of his house. He envisioned a society where the strong protected the weak, where leadership was a burden of responsibility, not a gateway to indulgence. It was an idealized, perhaps even paternalistic view of governance, but it was deeply ingrained in his character. As he served the Jedi Order, dedicating his life to peace and the common good, he carried this foundational belief with him. He saw the Jedi as an extension of this duty, noble protectors, arbiters of justice in a vast and often chaotic galaxy. But as the years turned into decades and the Republic expanded, Dooku witnessed a disturbing erosion of these core principles. The senators he observed from that platform weren't the noble, dutiful leaders he believed society needed. They were, in his eyes, increasingly corrupt, entangled in webs of corporate lobbying, political favors, and personal enrichment. Decisions that impacted billions of lives were made not out of genuine concern for the populace, but out of greed, petty rivalries, or a desperate clinging to power. The bureaucratic gears ground slowly, if at all, while suffering worlds cried out for aid that never came, and injustices festered unaddressed. He saw the Republic, once a symbol of hope, transforming into a bloated, inefficient entity, utterly failing in its fundamental duty to its citizens. The democratic system, which was supposed to empower the people, seemed to him to have become a tool for the powerful and unscrupulous. It was a betrayal of the very concept of governance, a profound dereliction of the noblesse oblige he held so dear. This wasn't just disappointment, it was a profound sense of anguish, a moral injury. He tried to work within the system, to warn the Jedi Council, to advocate for change. But his warnings went unheeded, his pleas dismissed as overly pessimistic, or perhaps too radical. He watched helplessly as the rot spread, feeling the weight of a galaxy's neglect on his shoulders. His decision to leave the Jedi Order, and subsequently to lead the Separatists, was, in his own mind, a tragic but necessary act of this twisted duty. He wasn't seeking power for power's sake. He was stepping in to do the job that the failed democratic system could not. If the Republic, with its corrupt senators and its unresponsive bureaucracy, could no longer provide order and justice, then a strong hand, an authoritarian hand, was needed to restore it. In Dooku's fractured moral compass, leading the separatist movement, even aligning with a Dark Lord like Sidious, was justified. He believed he was clearing away the diseased old growth to allow for a new, more effective order to flourish. His vision, though tragically misguided, was rooted in a genuine, albeit paternalistic, desire to serve the common good. He believed he was fulfilling his inherited responsibility, albeit through means that would ultimately plunge the galaxy into the very chaos he sought to prevent. This sense of twisted duty, this profound commitment to a noble ideal perverted by despair, became the powerful, if deeply flawed, justification for his authoritarian ambitions. Dooku's story is a poignant reminder that even the most well-intentioned beginnings can lead to the darkest paths when principles become distorted by cynicism and a thirst for control. His belief in noblesse oblige, once a guide for selfless service, ultimately became the internal logic that paved his road to tyranny. It underscores how deeply held convictions, when unexamined and untempered by humility, can become the very chains that bind us and others to suffering. We are left to ponder, when systems fail, what responsibilities do we truly bear? And how do we ensure our attempts to fix what's broken don't ironically become the very forces that perpetuate the cycle of pain? Thank you for joining me on this reflection. What are your thoughts on Dooku's motivations? Do you see his actions as a tragic fulfillment of a distorted duty, or something else entirely? Share your insights in the comments below. If you found this discussion thought-provoking, please consider following for more explorations into the fascinating depths of these stories.